Joining me now is Pat Ryan, Chairman and CEO of Ucore Rare Metals. Great to see you, sir.
Good to be here.
Now, you say that the company that you run has a rare opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, or at least a generation, to get rid of China's dominance of the rare earth elements market, basically, and you want to be able to secure sustainable supply for North America. I know there are a lot of moving parts with your company. Can you give us a sort of a broad stroke snapshot of what you're doing?
Yeah, snapshot. So, permanent magnets are the things that drive renewable energy. They drive the wind turbines, they drive the electric vehicles. And those permanent magnets are made with rare earth elements. But the rare earth elements are actually quite controlled by China intentionally over a 30-40 year period. So the resource side, they control 60% of the resource, separation midstream, 87% of the resource, and downstream, 90% plus. So those components, the permanent magnets, are all manufactured. So the risk going forward is that North America, European markets, we're all vulnerable because the 21st energy transition, which is all about renewable energy and energy generation, it's going to be controlled by China going forward. So Ucore has looked at it and said, where will we enter the market? The most logical place to enter the market is in the mid-market, the middle of the market where China's taking control of that 87%. Use westernized tech, develop separation for those critical seeds of technology, as the Japanese call it, and that will connect the bridge between the resource and the downstream magnet makers. You need that separation. It does not exist. That's where we're focused.
Now, you have a long career in the automotive sector. You started your own company, highly successful, still going, and you say that OEMs want ex-China supply. So can you give us some characterization of the offtake agreement discussions you're having right now, and when those are finalized, how you're going to how that would help finance the plant you're planning in Louisiana?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the key here is that the automotive companies need to de-risk but not decouple. If they try to just kind of cut it clean and go, we will not deal with China anymore, that's a problem because there's such a stranglehold going on in China. So, with that, you've got to take a look at all the disciplines that go into an automotive world. They want to have reliability of supply above all else. You can't start supplying product and then all of a sudden you can't supply product. You got to have product on spec. You got to make sure your product is made to spec all the time, day in, day out. You can't have something go off spec. And you've got to have price control. You've got to be able to control the ceiling and the floor. And you've got to make sure that through a 5-year life of a vehicle, you don't fluctuate all over the place. So on an offtake side, Ucore's in several discussions. I can't say a whole lot other than they're called pre-purchase supply agreements, which means the automotive company is looking to invest in a separation plant that we're building in Louisiana before kilogram number 1 is actually manufactured. It's good for them. They lock in their supply. They lock in a pricing term. They lock in a certain amount that they need. It's reliable, and we're at various stages. Again, the end game for Louisiana, 3 automotive companies, 1 consumer electronic, 1 Department of Defense company. That's kind of the portfolio of customers we're looking at.
So lots of conversations right now. Now, you're a mechanical engineer by trade.
Yes.
Don't need to tell you that. You've got a lot of experience in terms of executing steps to commercialization. So what's the timeline right now in terms of getting the demo plant in Kingston fully up and running and then on to construction in Louisiana and eventual production?
Yeah, there are a lot of terms and disciplines that you learn through the automotive industry. Things like APQP, Advanced Product Quality Planning, FMEA, Failure Mode Effect Analysis. And what that means is that the disciplines that you put in place, we have a Kingston operating plant, Rapid SXR technology. It's a very westernized approach to taking a cumbersome, slow solvent extraction and using a column-based tech that is really high speed, more throughput, less CapEx, all the metrics you want to be able to perform. So from a discipline standpoint, you're really proving out your FMEA, Failure Mode Effect Analysis. Run that commercial demo plant in Kingston, run it as hard as you can, try to make it fail, and be able to then transition over to Louisiana where you're building your full-scale plant. You've got engineering companies working on process flow, like MetChem out of New England. You've got Orbital Engineering out of Pittsburgh. They're all working on the disciplines of taking the commercial demo and getting it to full scale. Timing standpoint, we're looking to start commissioning that plant in Louisiana by the end of 24, looking to be operational in the first half of 25. That fits the market. You've got to have your supply-demand in balance, and that fits the market with rare earth oxides that we're looking to produce.
As far as government financing, Louisiana has offered $20 million in incentives. You got the Department of Defense, $4 million. What about the Canadian federal government? You're in discussions? You're close?
Yeah, we're a Canadian company, and a year ago, the U.S. government came up with a bid that said, who's got the most innovative approach to separating and making those critical oxides that create that bridge between the resource and downstream? And we, a Canadian company, Ucore, won that award. Now, the important thing about the $4 million award, it actually has a $10 million add-on appropriated amount. So that's for the build-out in Louisiana. So it's $4 million, yes. We're running a campaign in Kingston right now, but the $10 million build-out is very important. The Canadian government, they've come to Kingston, they've seen the facility. People like NRCan have great programs that can support what we're doing. A lot of discussions going on. Stay tuned, it's part of our news driver. But yeah, Canada loves what we're doing, and we're helping to build out the supply chain. Expect something to be announced in the short haul.
Very good. Okay, lastly, Pat, this is probably kind of an unfair question, but considering your big undertaking that you're doing here, can you condense that into like 30, 45 seconds for investors, for our viewers, why they need to pay attention to Ucore and maybe consider the stock?
Well, high level, this really is a battle of open and closed economies. The closed nationalistic Chinese version, and they've intentionally, over a 40-year period, they've taken control of a market that is rare earth bound. It's got the upstream resource control, it's got the mid-market control, it's got the down market control. Ucore has said, let's get the right technology that's low risk, let's get the right engineering plan to scale up and bring it to market, serve real customers, not markets, but real customers with real demands. And let's do it all with a capital plan that makes sense. So we've got a time plan, we've got a technology, it's low risk. We're at the right place, right time. We need to break that stranglehold. Remind ourselves that, open economies have always won, decade after decade. Entrepreneurship, innovation, it's where I've been in the automotive industry. Let's do that, and that's what Ucore's up to.
All right, fascinating stuff. Good luck with everything. Good Canadian company, good Canadian boy.
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Thanks, Pat.
Great, thank you.
Pat Ryan, Chairman, CEO of Ucore Rare Metals.